TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live. It is Wednesday, January the 21st, 9:41 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. Let's see what's going on with the portfolios. I think Tasty Trade is having some issues. So there's that. So we got to be mindful of that. I won't be able to make any trades, I don't think, unless they fix whatever they got going on with those servers over there. But I did make some moves. I did make some moves before things went kaput. So I was able to do that. My hair's like jacked. I need a shave. I need a shave. I'm looking like a homeless dude over here. So I will definitely try to get all purdied up. Try to get all purdied up by tomorrow. Sometimes you just let yourself go a little bit, you know. Um, Finally got figured out how to do the sauna. I had bought this little steam sauna thing from Sauna Box. Finally figured out how to get that going. My wife and I used it yesterday, and it's really cool, man. For $500-600 to have one at the house and not have to like go to your local gym. And my wife has like a little bit of like that germaphobe action, and I do too, a little bit, not too much. I was in the oil field, so I'm a little bit more relaxed about that kind of stuff, but my wife's not. So to have our own that we can wipe down, we know where it's been and stuff. It's really cool, and it was very inexpensive, relatively speaking, because I looked at some that were like $7,000-10,000, but this isn't our forever home, so we didn't want to like ball out like that. We just wanted something that can get the job done. So anyway, let's get into it. What's going on, Will? Here's the little link there. If anybody wants to just kind of like shoot the shit, this one's going to be a little bit more informal. The portfolio update's going to take like not even 10 minutes, guys. I'm just going to kind of give you all the macros of what's going on with the portfolio. And then I'm going to do like one featured trade along with the teaching segment, meaning like so y'all can see the trade through my lens. And then it's just like however much you give me is however much I can give you, right? Like based on whatever's in the chat. Y'all have any questions that you'd like to get answered? Let's knock that out. What's going on, Mr. G? What's going on, Mr. International? Tavares, classes in session. Always, baby. Always in session. The Trump on-off conflict mode looks like manipulation for getting volatility and profit out of it. Who knows, man? TJ, you're a market gangster. What's going on, Ticker? Well, TJ, hope you're doing. I'm doing well. I am doing well. Appreciate you guys. No way. Tell us about the sauna. How big is it? It is. It's called Sauna Box. Sauna Box, and I actually had a gentleman that works at the golf course come over here. He put it together in like 15 minutes or so. Paid him $30. So he was excited. And I was excited because I didn't have to do it. And they also gave me a free, sure, it's all part of the package, but they're like, it's free, a cold plunge. I haven't set that one up yet. And I think that's like you have to like manually add ice. I didn't see anywhere to like connect it or anything. So that one's just like, you just add a bunch of ice in there, freeze your ass off. So I want to start doing a contrast therapy where I go in the sauna and then I go in the cold plunge, go back in the sauna, cold plunge after my workouts. I just think that I keep reading that it's healthy. We'll see what's going on. EG Trades morning. TJ, know what you're doing when I have to see 3 ads before I can see the live. Yeah, I don't even know how that works. It's not anything I'm doing intentionally. What process do you use to pick a stock for wheeling? You gotta watch the seminar, man. That would take too long. But essentially, what I would say is you gotta pick a stock that you're interested in, a sector that you're interested in. And then I study the M's. The moat. Do they have a moat? Management, money, market, the methodology. How are you going to make money with that stock? So the M's, I cover that in thoroughly in the seminar. So watch the seminar series, man, and it is all there. It's all there for you guys, all of it. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. You want to go get rich? You're going to put in a little bit of time. It takes 10,000 hours to quote unquote become not necessarily an expert in something but become pretty proficient in something. So I have definitely invested over 10,000 hours of my life trying to really learn the ins and outs of selling options. And I don't know, probably like high school level as far as knowledge, uh, professional level, knowing how to make money. But that's not because of the knowledge, that's because of my temperament. And that's something that I can't teach. I can't teach. Like there's a lot of people on Tasty Trade that know options and nuances of options better than me. That is a fact, Jack. This is also a fact. I can out earn them all day, every day, twice on Sunday if it was open in the market. Why? Because of my temperament and my risk tolerance. They want to play small and play often and all that stuff. That's great. I'm like, give me 5 winning trades, and I will just freaking ring the cash register over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because I ain't looking for a winning trade. I'm looking for a winning campaign. And that's where the methodology between me and the folks on Tasty Trade on Tasty Live differs. I'm like, why you keep looking for a bunch of little bitty trades? Which is cool. I mean, it's safe. I have the chance of blowing up my account a lot more than they do. But I'm like, dude, if you got a winning situation, like you got to know how to extract max value out of it. Like, you got to learn this thing in an investing called convexity. And I don't think that they're geared for that over there. So I definitely utilize the Tasty Trade way, 30 to 45 days out, manage 21 days to expiration, but I know how to squeeze money out of a position. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to make money in the stock market because I understand that sometimes you're going to lose money too. And there's just different methodologies, different mindsets. But I feel like that is what separates me. And but it's also like I run a lot more risk. I deal with a lot more risk because they're like so mechanical over there. They're very unlikely to experience anything like, like April happens, Liberation Day happens, October happens, and they just like cruise through it because they're trading small, trading often, managing the sizing and really understanding all the tail risk and all of those things. Whereas like I go heavy and I'm gonna deal with a lot more volatility. I'm gonna deal with a lot more drawdown and stuff. I mean, those are the gimmies and the gotchas. Those are the gimmies and the gotchas. I did that one. I feel like I did that one. What's going on? What's going on, Martin? Apparently it's good for you. I've always been interested myself. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've just always heard that it's healthy for you. I used to do it a lot in college. I just never had access to one all the time unless you go to the gym. And I love that it's there. I'm hoping to use it 3 to 5 times a week, 20-minute sessions, and sweat like crazy. You sweat like crazy in there. Having issues? Yes. Yes. Luckily, I feel like all the trades that I wanted to make, I already made before it went kaput. So we'll check it out here in a second whenever we get in there. Do you ever trade gold futures? I haven't done anything with futures. I don't know that I'm ever going to, man. I know that Tom Sosnoff is a real big fan of futures. I just feel like I stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. I sell puts, I sell calls, I collect premium, I roll and makes dollars and cents. By the time we leave, the trade that I'm really trying to perfect is selling the backstop trade and then running short dated strangles on top of it. And I feel like that's my thing. Year 6, I finally landed on my thing because the backstop trades has made me over 50% of the money in the stock market. So I'm like, why isn't that the cornerstone? And going into 2026, I was like, dude, do what works. Do what works. I'm batting 1,000. I have not had one losing backstop trade. Not a one. Not a one. So I'm like, why isn't that the cornerstone of your portfolio? These oversized trades, pretty far out of the money, and go ring the cash register. And then thankfully with the Tasty Trade platform, you can sell strangles, right? You can sell the puts and the calls at the same time without having to own the shares. And I was like, dude, I can ring the cash register the whole way through. So I'm calling it the rich man's covered call, right? That's my strategy. That's ultimately my strategy and where I landed. And everything in the portfolio is ultimately going to look like that. So if the stock isn't good enough for a backstop trade, then it's just not going to be in the portfolio. And even you just keep defining and tweaking who you are in the market, and what do you feel can work consistently in the market during various market conditions. So let's get into it, guys. 1 minute with God. I've already recorded this segment on X, so we won't be recording this because I don't have the meta glasses right now because I broke them. So it's January the 21st, and it is trust. What makes God trustworthy? You can trust God because he is the source of truth. How do you know? Because nothing he has said in his word, the Bible, has ever been proven wrong or false. Every prophecy that is not still in the future has been fulfilled. The source of truth cannot tell a lie. God's response. He passed in front of Moses and said, I am the Lord. I am the Lord, the merciful and gracious God. I am slow to anger and rich in unfailing love and faithfulness. Exodus 34:6. This truth gives them the confidence of eternal life, which God promised them before the world began, and he cannot lie. Titus 1:2. Those who know your name trust in you. For you, O Lord, have never abandoned anyone who searches for you. Psalms 9:10. God's promise. Your unfailing love will last forever. Your faithfulness is as enduring as the heavens. Psalms 89:2. No better person or idea, or however you want to refer to God, is more reliable than our creator. You know, I trust my wife, I trust me, I trust my parents, trust my son, I trust my friends, but they're just not going to be as reliable as the person, the thing, right? Because it's hard to like describe God because he's outside of time, space, and matter, right? If you really get down to the nitty gritty. So yes, you're not going to find anybody more reliable than the creator. Anyway, I see somebody in the background here. Let's invite Sammy. Oh, what's
Yo,
up?
how's it going?
This is a engineering student out of Florida. I don't want to like dox him too much. I met him through his dad. Through his dad. His dad is a top 5 call for me, meaning there's calls that I look forward to. So whenever he shows up on my Calendly, I'm like, that's gonna be a cool conversation. His dad's is Bachata in the chat. Shout out to Bachata. It's like this one's gonna be fun. We're gonna shoot the shit. And we're gonna talk a little bit of stocks. And occasionally his dad gets in trouble because he doesn't follow. He doesn't follow to a T. And,
Yeah,
and we like running rescue missions on his dad's account. And Sammy, tell us a little bit about yourself, my man. How are you?
doing good. I've been trading options for about a year and 6 months now. Been following TJ, and I actually started watching. My dad was watching his videos, and then I was like, "What you watching over there?" I was like, he's like, "Nah, you should watch it." And then I didn't listen to it for a couple of times, and then I watched one video, and then I loved selling options and watching option videos in the stock market in general. But I am a, student studying computer science, computer engineering, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like working out.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit about your portfolio because you've got a smaller account, right? Under
Yeah.
$50,000. How many positions do you have? You're in that 2 to 3 range, right?
Yes. I was one for a really long time.
Which was
Till
Neo, correct?
yes, until Neo kind of started not giving the option premium that I was looking for, and then I had to look into BM&U.
You cut it loose when the item in your hamburger stand wasn't ringing the cash register to your liking. So you looked for another wholesaler.
Yes, yes, you gotta find food quick because people need to eat. So you'll find the next French fries.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome, man. So talk to us about your portfolio now. What's going on with BM&U? I know that you're young, so you're more likely to want to take on more risk
Yes.
because your whole life's ahead of you. You got time. if you blow up your account, it's the end of your account, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So talk to us about, if you don't mind sharing, where are you at with your BMU position, and walk us through it.
Okay. So I have I just yesterday I put $4 puts for
Mhm.
about 60 days out on BMNU, as well as I have previously I've in the next 30 days I have expiring $30 in the next 30 days I have $4 puts expiring on BMNU and $5 puts expiring on BMNU in the next 30 days.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
How do you
And
feel
then
about it?
I feel great. I feel great.
So
Again,
talk to us about your mindset. Where are you at between ringing the cash register with premiums? Because I feel like we have a hamburger stand, and right now you only have one menu item. But it's like, how are you trying to make money with that menu item? Are you focused on premiums, or are you focused on capital appreciation, or are you focused on a combination of both? Where are you at?
so I use a combination of both because at the end of the day, like I don't really use this money to live so much off of.
Mhm.
So again, I don't care about how much premium is coming through the door. I'd rather have more capital appreciation if the stock does go up and get more capital appreciation. So again, my calls are very far out when I sell a call. When I sell a call, it's pretty far out to the top side, and then when I sell a put, it's usually in that 30% delta range, maybe 25, depends if I want those puts to get assigned or not assigned.
What does it say in the back? I will be the best trader. Read
Yes,
that
sir.
for us. What does it say?
I will be the
Your
best
chicken
traders.
scratch is worse than mine. What is that?
It says every pattern in your life repeats until you learn the lesson. The moment you choose the differently, the loop ends and the growth begins. That's what it says in the back.
That's really cool. Really cool. I like that you have the little whiteboard there, because I got my little whiteboard there. So that's what I got there. Naked call premiums expiring within the next month and a half. I got 193,000, and I show the breakdown. I got 8,500 of extrinsic value on Enphase, 78,000 PayPal, SoFi, et cetera, et cetera. Because the quote that I have in the back is the one that I watch, is that one every day. So I like your setup. I like your setup, Sam. I feel like you're poised for greatness, man. I'm really, really happy for you. Did you have any specific questions for me today, or are you just kind of on here shooting the shit with us?
On here, just talking.
Awesome, brother. Love it. Absolutely love it. Where are you at in your college career? I know that you are
I'm about
in
to
college,
graduate. I'm about to graduate in 2, 3 semesters from now. No, two
and
semesters.
it's engineering, correct? Or
Yes, sir.
computer science?
Software engineering. Yes, sir.
Awesome. So where's your mind at? Because I know that as you get better at trading, the one thing about me, like, had I learned how to do this at your age, what are you, like 21, 22?
Yes, sir.
It'd be real hard for me to like get excited to graduate to go get a fucking regular old job. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So are you just thinking I need my degree to make some money so that I can bankroll what I really want to do with my life? Or where's your mindset at exactly?
My mindset it keeps evolving as well. As the more I get better at trading, the better, the more my mindset involves. Definitely, I see how when it really changed whenever I put my first put on American Airlines and I made like
Mhm.
$150. And I was like,
Oh, dude,
yo,
game
what?
changer.
I was
Game
like, I
changer.
made $150 just by literally a press of a button. I was like, I put a five on the delta. I was like, the delta, the strike price, I put it right there, 30 delta. I was like, perfect, let's go. I put it, I was like, $150. That's
Yeah.
like one day of work. I was like, and then from there, like I was like, that's it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I need to save up money and figure out how to, do more of this. And then that's where my mindset evolved. And then now I definitely do. I think that now I've been almost doing it for almost 2 years now. My mindset has definitely shifted very much so because you see the limit, you see like how much money you can make from trading in general, and then I'm
Right.
like, man, this is how much I would make from college. This is how much money I make from trading. And then you see it, and then you're like, man, getting pretty close to how much I would be making at an actual,
Job.
uh, yes, job. and it's definitely eye opening, and hopefully with God, hopefully He guides me in the right direction. But definitely my mindset is definitely more towards trading.
If you don't mind sharing too much, you still live at home with your mom and dad, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, the best.
Yeah. How's your dad feel about it? Because I know that this is a struggle for me. It's like my son's pursuing a finance degree and he's
Hmm.
going at a real slow pace because he has a full-time job now. So
Hmm.
he works at USA, big ass bank in Texas, military bank. But it's like I'm always on him. Like, where you at with the degree? And he's like, oh, I'm taking a class here, a class there. And I'm like, dude, USA is paying for it. Like, this is the time. Like, I had to go in debt to go to college. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you don't even have to do that. And granted, obviously, I could pay for his college, but that's not the point. And he's kind of like dragging his feet a little bit. And I feel like it's because Jeremiah knows, well, I already got a pretty decent job and I'm learning how to sell options. So, like, this college is like, I think
yeah,
it's hard for him to invest the time. But as his dad, I want him to do it anyway, even though I feel like it's irrelevant to his future outlook, right? Where is your dad with you in college and going the traditional route? Or is he just kind of like, hey, mijo, get to like a couple $100,000 and you can make six figures doing this and live your best life? Or what do those conversations look like between you guys?
so the conversations between me and my dad about college, he's very for it, and then he's always my dad's great. He's always whatever I want to do, he's always for it. If it's like, hey, if I'm gonna be a full time trader, he's gonna be like, amazing, like
Yeah.
see it.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah.
Say, get your ass to school.
Yeah, but my mindset, my dad's definitely like very cool with anything. He says like if you're gonna trade. And if you're gonna go to school, go to school. But definitely school has helped me with all those like physics classes and math classes and
Yeah.
programming classes. They help me understand to think and problem solve. So definitely that has helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's very supportive on any
Yeah.
decision that I do.
My dad was my biggest champion, man. He was like, he watched me fail a lot, but he would give me like the timely lecture. Like I remember I was in college and I was involved in a company called Equinox International. It was one of those network marketing companies. Have you heard of Amway? You're in Florida.
Mhm.
Amway is like a real big thing over there, like where the Orlando Magic played. That was called the Amway Center for a while. It might
Yes.
still be. Uh, so Amway is one of those multi-level marketing companies where they sell everything from hand soap, laundry detergent. You could probably buy a car on Amway. Like I mean, it's one of those where you start your own little business for a few $100s. You buy a little bit of inventory. You convince your friend and family member that they can start their own little business, and it's like they call them like little pyramid schemes because you're at the top of your pyramid and then you build under you, etc. But that's not really what a pyramid scheme is per se. But that's just like the wrap that those companies have. But so I was involved in one of those called Equinox International. And before I figured out how to make money with it, I had already lost probably like $10,000 between buying products and not being able to sell them and going to all their trainings and learning how to like talk to people and all that. And then eventually I figured out how to make a little bit of money with the company. But my dad's like how far down the rabbit hole are you gonna go until you realize that, hey, this wasn't the thing for me? He was like, we're here to support you. You know, the whole family's buying products from you and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's real awesome to have a dad like that, that he probably knew that that wasn't going to end up being the thing for me, but it was part of the process. It was part of the growth process. And I always tell my son, man, if I could learn how to like champion you the way that my dad championed me, he's going to be in really good shape.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have that support system to know that they're willing to let you try things, even though they see it from a different lens, but they still let you go do it. And then if you fall, well, they're going to be there to help, scrape you off the floor, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm half if I'm the half the man my dad is, then I made it.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. That's huge. That's huge for your dad too, because it shows the kind of man he is that he doesn't have to be there, and you're able to speak highly of him. So that's like my like people don't know. Like I don't have I'm not like super tight with my son because his mom and I didn't work out when he was like 4 or 5 years old. So my son grew up with a stepdad for about 5 6 years of his life, maybe a little more actually. And then that relationship didn't work out between his mom and that guy. But I feel like he was closer to his stepdad than he was to me for a crucial part of his life, if you will. Like from the age of like call it 10 to 15, I feel like he was closer to his stepdad than he was to me. And then his stepdad's no longer, is in the picture. And then I feel like I slid back in there because at the end of the day, I'm his biological father, right? So it's my hope that one day Jeremiah talks about me that way. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
granted, we're tight. Don't get me wrong, we're tight. He's my son, right? But I'm saying there's the bond isn't as tight because I didn't tuck him into bed his whole life, if that makes sense,
yeah,
because I wasn't there. So I wasn't able to. Like, I can't just be like, hey, call my ex and be like, hey, I'm going to go text Jeremiah and this shit ain't going to work. She's married to somebody else, right?
correct.
So it's tough whenever you create a broken home like that. So you're fortunate to have your dad and mom there and take advantage of that. Uh, milk the free rent, milk it because that's the fastest path to wealth and prosperity, in my opinion, for a kid. Is
Yeah,
don't life's expensive, dude. I promise you, life's expensive. It's even expensive for us. Like it's expensive. Like this inflation thing at 2% is absolute bullshit. It's more like 5 to 10%. Seriously, it's more.
yeah,
Your money doesn't buy you as much as it used to. It just doesn't.
yeah,
Keeps buying you less and less. Like your buying power diminishes a lot in this country, and it's way more than the 2 or 3% that the Fed's touting. I promise you, it's more like 5 to 10%. So knowing that, I'm going to tell you one of your biggest expenses is always going to be your mortgage or your rent.
yes, sir.
So milk that and pretend like you already have it. Like if you have a source of income coming, I know you have like a little job going too, and use that to fund your portfolio. So like I've always played these games in my head. Like whenever I want to buy a new motorcycle or I want to buy a new car or something. And here lately, I don't know why, dude. Like, please talk me out of it, chat. I've been looking at a fucking pontoon. I don't even like the water, but there's this pontoon that keeps showing up on my feed on Facebook, and it looks like it could be $100,000 and it's only like 40 grand, and I'm like, oh, I need that pontoon. Like
Yeah,
it's one of those things that it looks real cool. So whenever I look to take on a purchase, I always pretend like I already have it, and I stash that money away instead, and then I see what it feels like on the books, right? Because it's easy to afford things on paper, dude. We can go buy a $3 4 million house on paper, but then the reality of making that mortgage every month, oh, that's gonna feel different when you actually have to stroke those checks or do the electronic transfers, right?
yes, sir.
So pretend like you already have a mortgage or apartment whenever you're thinking about moving out, and practice that for 90 days, and then just put it into your account and see what that feels like. And then you'll know whether or not it would have been a good move or not a good move versus like signing on the dotted line. And
Doing it.
there's times that I bought shit because I could afford them on paper, but then the reality of owning them, but then now you're stuck because you can't just like not pay because then it ruins your credit, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you're like trying to find somebody else to take over your shit. This is a friggin' it's a hassle, bro. So that's the cheat code for young folks is if you have a good relationship with your parents and you're going to school in the proximity of where you lived and all those things, right? Like try to stay there till you're 22, 23, 24 years old and build a nest egg of $50,000, 250,000 if you can. And then you're ready to go conquer the world and you're starting on first base, second base. You're not starting at zero.
Yeah, for
And it
sure.
makes it easier, and it makes it easier to score runs because what's going to happen in your life, Sammy, is you're going to meet a woman or a man, whatever the hell you're into, cats, dogs, if you're a fucking furry, I don't know. Right? Like I'm saying, whatever you're into, you're going to meet that special someone, right?
Yeah.
You're going to meet that special someone. And then now all of the plans that you had, they're going to have to be reworked because you're going to have to take this special someone into consideration. And then y'all got to formulate a game plan.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yes,
a
sir.
hell of a lot easier to formulate that game plan when you got 100 grand or 250 grand. And
Yes.
hopefully they bring something to the table too, right?
Yes.
So anyway, that's my life advice for you. As a kid, I'm sure your dad will appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So let's look at the
Definitely
portfolio. Go ahead.
Definitely living below your means is really good.
It's hard though, man. Lifestyle creep's a real thing. It's hard. So let's look. Let's see what's going on. Are you able to see the portfolio up there or no? Does it
Yes.
show up? So let's look at this thing. We've got green across the board, looking like a Christmas tree, except my son's account, the DGen account, because we are all in on BM&U. So, Sammy, let me show you what could happen whenever you're dealing with BM&U.
Yes.
So we got 8,500 shares at $6.13, and BM&U is trading at $4.71. So we're down, 12 grand on the shares. Luckily, I have sold the covered call on these once already. So I brought in 3,350. So that was good. So if this thing bounces back to 613, we know that our profit is the cover call premium. I opted not to sell covered calls on this yet. The idea was to ring the cash register, sell covered calls, bring in that 4 grand, and then sell, and then buy more shares with that because I'm trying to get to 10,000 shares. Actually, I'd like to get to 12,500 shares at these levels, but I don't know if it's going to work out or not. But I'd be ecstatic with 10,000 shares because every dollar is 10 grand, right? As far as capital appreciation, I do think that BMNR is going to go on a heater at some point, and I could see this thing moving up $3-4 in one day to the good. In the meantime, I'll just ring the cash register with covered calls. I'm going to give this 2 or 3 more days. And if nothing happens, then I'm just going to sell covered calls, and I'll probably sell them at $7. But right now, I'm trying to be patient. I can afford to wait for Sunny and 75. So that's what's going on with that particular portfolio. Other moves that I made today were on PayPal across the board. I had all the puts. This is a backstop trade where I sold 200 puts at 50, and now I'm selling short dated calls against it. So I'm kind of running a rich man's call, if you will. And I brought in some money through the door here because I'm like, hey, well, these puts aren't performing. So let me get in a situation where we're ringing the cash register. So I did that on that account, did it on this account as well. I had the 5250s expiring in 114 days. And then I sold the 65 calls 16 days out, ringing the cash register a little bit to lock in some wins. I probably did the same on this account here. Yeah, I had 100 or 300 short puts at 55. So those are like right at the money under pressure. So I'm like, well, let me take a little bit of pressure off the position. And I sold 100 of the naked calls or the short calls at 65, 30 days out. And these two things can't be true at the same time. It can be below 55 and above 65 at the same time. Mathematically, that just doesn't work out, right? So those are the moves that I made. Did the same thing on this particular account because I have PayPal across the board. So I had the 55 puts, and then I sold 100 of the 65 calls. And I'm not matching on the call side because I know that there's an unlimited risk to the upside. And I feel like PayPal it's like a coiled spring. and I feel like it could jump to $65 on some good earnings. I feel like they just got to say something good, anything good, and the market will be ready to reward them because they've been downtrending for a little while. That's just what I think. I think I did the same thing on this other account over here. PayPal, yeah, I had the 55 puts. So I sold 100 of the calls to bring in some cash flow. I'd have done the same on this particular account as well, or at least I'm hoping I did. Yeah, I did. So I've got the 55 puts, and then I sold 100 of the 65s, and I did these 30 days out. And then I had already done that on the bigger account. I have the 2,500 backstop trades, and then I sold 2,000 of the calls at 65, 16 days out, and we've got $76,000 of meat on the bone there. And then I also did this on this account as well. It's the same trade over and over. And that's really all that I did today. And the only thing I haven't done is I haven't sold any calls on BMNU or BMNR on any of the portfolios with the exception of this one right here. On this particular portfolio, I just got mechanical with it. And I'll tell y'all why is because I actually bought these shares on accident. I bought 6,500 shares at 548 on accident because I thought I was on a different account. This is whenever I was trading on the website and we heard the cash register ring and then I couldn't find the shares. It's because I was on a different account. So whenever I was doing my admin on Friday or Saturday, I noticed these 6,526 shares here and I was like, that's odd. So then I went and I watched the tape and sure enough, I had bought these shares on accident on this particular account. So I immediately sold the calls and rung the cash register, and I'm already up $845 on the calls. Then I was like, well, let me run a coverage strangle, and I sold 65 short puts at $4. So I'm going to accidentally have to manufacture the win on the stock that I was like I legit like this dude, hand to God, I legit had zero intention of being in BMNU in this particular portfolio. But now as I look at it, I'm like, well, it ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, I think I need to buy 74 more shares just to be at like 6,600 or maybe shoot it up to 7,000. There's plenty of buying power here. So that's just something that happened on accident. But now I'm like, looking at it, it didn't feel too bad. I'm like, that's quite a bit of premiums there going, right? I got, 3,300 on the puts and 2,400 to look forward to on the calls in 30 days. I mean, we're ringing the cash register now. So I'm excited that I screwed the pooch on that accidentally, if you will. So those are all the moves I made. Not a whole lot going on in the portfolios today. I feel like the market's trying to digest what the Donald said, and I think it's called the World Economic Forum or something like that. What is that actually called over there in Switzerland right now? Do you guys know in the chat? Can you guys help us out in the chat? Donald Trump was speaking earlier today. The Prime Minister of France was speaking, and the reason that the markets bounced a little bit today was because Davos. Thank you. Yeah, the World Economic Forum, Davos. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. He said they're not going to try to take over Greenland with force. And I'm like, didn't we know that though? I mean, what are you gonna do? There's a mile of ice, right? Like the sheet of ice is like a mile deep, according to like the geologists and whatnot. So what are they gonna do? Is everybody gonna go put on one of those Alaskan bearskin suits or whatever, and we're gonna just go fight like a bunch of Eskimos? Like, what are we doing here? So
Yeah.
I think that if you look on the map, there's like a port of entry there. So as these glaciers or whatever they melt, that's going to create like another like the Arctic Panama Canal, if you will. So it will shave a lot of the sailing time to ship products. I think that's the play. And then they talk about something about like a golden dome something about like missile defense and all this other shit that's above my pay grade. So Greenland's important, dude. I've been hearing about Greenland. I'm 50 years old. The first president that I remember is Ronald Reagan. I think he was president in like 19. I think he won in 1980, and he might have won in 1984. And then after that, it might have been the first Bush, the dad. It's the first person I heard mention Greenland was Ronald Reagan. So this isn't Donald Trump throwing a tantrum or anything. And I don't play politics. I don't identify as a Republican. I certainly don't identify as a Democrat. I identify as an American and as a human being, right? Like I'm pretty logical. I could work with you on both sides of the political aisle as long as it makes sense. And I feel like it can make me dollars too. I'm more excited about it. Like I like dollars and cents across the board. So Ronald Reagan, I believe he was a Republican, if my history serves me correctly. He was like, Greenland's important for trade and it's important for national security and all that stuff. So I feel like the Donald is just reiterating what Reagan said and probably other presidents along the way. But I'm saying the very first time I heard of Greenland was I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. And Reagan was talking about it. So,
Yeah, especially the rare earth metals too, as well.
Yeah. But the thing is, how are you going to get those rare earth metals if they're a mile under the earth and it's a sheet of ice? So I used to work in the oil field. You can drill, but it's hard. It'd take a while, and it'd probably be really, really expensive. But I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure. But politics aside, like this has been going on with Greenland for a long time. And I do think that the United States wants it in their control. They feel like it's just better in their control because we're that country, right? We're like a little bit cocky, a little bit confident. We feel like that things are better whenever we're in control, and it's just the way that the cookie crumbles. So we'll see. But that's why the market's tanked over the weekend, right? And then we really felt the brunt of that punch yesterday. But then today, it's a little bit of the taco trade, right? Like Trump always chickens out. So he maybe like walked back some of those statements, perhaps. I'm not sure. I didn't listen to the whole speech. What did he say? Like, what is the general vibe of the World Economic Forum today? Does anyone know? Does anyone know what the vibe is? Are they saying anything on CNBC? Because I do have YouTube TV. I do have YouTube TV. I believe I do. Gotta get better at navigating this stuff, man. Is it this way? Right here, YouTube TV. There's YouTube TV. Here's Money Movers.
Decades ago,
are you guys able to hear that?
Of AI data centers. Yet, almost no one has caught up with the story this time around.
Are you guys able to hear that or not?
Onto the AI chip war story, they've completely missed this company's essential role in building out data centers. Their hardware is so critical that the data.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to right now I'm just messing with the technology. So I'm learning how to share screen. So I think you have to do the window. That's what it is. I think you have to share the window if you want to do like from YouTube. If you want to share with audio. I think that's what I learned last time. So let's see. This is why I don't broadcast earnings and stuff live, because I feel like it's so hard for me to figure this stuff out.
Play by visiting the website on your screen, or simply open the camera on your phone and point it at the QR code you see on your screen right now. When you do, I've also got 7 more free buy and sell recommendations,
It doesn't
including
show.
names, tickers, and analysis waiting for you at no cost.
I'm looking at my TV in the background and I can't see it on
Work
there.
shouldn't leave you feeling stiff or sore. You deserve a happier, healthier workday. That starts with a better workspace, one where you can stand a little.
Let me see. I need a tutorial on how to share YouTube TV. I know y'all can hear it, but I have the TV in the background there, and I can't like it doesn't share the window. Like it doesn't share the window. So I need like a nerd to come on here and give me.
I forgot because I did it a while ago. I'm trying to remember how I did it, because so what happens is Google blocks it so that you don't stream it to a whole bunch of people, but there is a way to do it. Let me see if I can remember.
Yeah, because I mean I pay for YouTube TV and I pay for premium and all that crap. So I feel like I should be able to do that. Check with a minute. These fucking nerds, man, I swear. Yeah, so that's the issue. That's why I don't go live for like a lot of this stuff, because I'm like I get stuck trying to figure out how to do this crap. So it says Chrome tab, window, or the entire screen. I like doing the entire screen. And then you also share with audio. So I did all that. But then if I go over to YouTube TV.
Try clicking the video twice and then clicking picture in picture and making that large.
Hold on. I got to go find YouTube TV. I go live.
Right click it.
I'm just trying to find the channel now, though. I don't know where the channel is. Oh, let's see. I see NBC. That's not CNBC, though. Did I already cruise? Did I already cruise too far? I have all these. I didn't realize I have all these channels. I only watch like 3 channels on YouTube TV. It's like ESPN, Fox Business, and CNBC. The rest of the shit is irrelevant to me. Yeah, I can't find it. We'll just go with ESPN. It doesn't matter, right?
You've earned more than respect. At GovX.com, unlock
I can
special
only-
savings on the brands
I can
you
only
trust,
hear
because
it.
your
I
service
can't
should be
see
rewarded
it.
every day.
Try right clicking it twice.
1,000 brands, thousands
that?
of exclusive discounts.
Try
Just
right clicking it twice.
for those who serve. Join for free today at
I
GovX.com.
right click it isn't doing
Here
it.
on the
Are you-
internet, you can pretend to be anything, like a medical
What's up?
professional,
You're on Apple, right?
an electrician.
Yeah, I'm
Left-
Don't the unfiltered internet.
Left click
He
it
has 3 years of experience
left click it. I just
twice.
finding the best pros.
Oh, no.
Angie, job's done well.
The NHL is on a course to take over sunny
full
Tampa,
screen, but
Florida.
there's nothing. It doesn't show anything.
Two teams take their
And when I'm
shots
not
at
on,
one of a
and when
kind
I'm not
NHL
on,
Stadium Series. Bruins, Lightning, Sunday, February 1st on ESPN.
and when I'm not on, YouTube, when I'm not on StreamYard, I can watch YouTube TV on the computer. So there's an issue there. And I emailed StreamYard on how to do it. And there you are.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm not on StreamYard, like live on StreamYard, I can watch YouTube TV on the computer.
Yeah.
But the minute that I'm on that I'm live on StreamYard, I cannot, like, the picture doesn't show up for me. And I figured out how to do it one time. I like lucked into it, so I didn't like really learn how to do it, if that makes sense. So I'll have to get with another streamer. I'll see if I can get Tevis or somebody who's nerdy and can help me with that, because it is that's why I don't do that kind of stuff, like go back and forth and show X, Y, and Z, because I run into those issues with the technology. Sounds like a plan. Oh, there we go. Let's go check on Twitter world. Let's see what's going on with Twitter. Hold on. Oh man, those Rivians are pretty nice, dude. Dallas Matthew. You guys aren't following my boy Dallas. He's only got 385 followers. Let's all click on Dallas Matthew and give him a follow. Man, this dude's got really good content. He wrote this like things that he's learned in the stock market, and it's really, really, really helpful stuff. Like kind of like his card tissue, if you will. So let's try to blow him up on Twitter. Let's try to get him 30, 40, 50 followers on here today. He's always posting his trades and stuff, and just a real solid dude. He comes on the channel frequently. Sometimes he's at work and has and looking like a Rambo with all his with all his gear on, his tactical gear and the freaking AR-15 or whatever. It's kind of scary. But I don't see anything else here going on, man. I think it's feels like a pretty chill day, and I like it. I like it like that. I like it like that. There's not a lot going on in the stock market. I feel like it is giving back some of the gains. BM&U is not performing well today. SoFi's flat. PayPal's flat. Let me see if I can.
We have a lot of good earnings next week.
Yeah.
We have Tesla.
How much screen time do you like how much time do you spend looking at the stock market daily?
It's unhealthy amount. Unhealthy.
See, so when I look at because sometimes I'll spend like an hour or two just looking at the screen, and I'm not like doing anything. I'm not trying to make a move or anything per se, but I'm looking at it to see if anything jumps out at me. And what I mean by that, I look at where I'm making the money versus where I'm not making the money. And I try to see if that's going to be like an ongoing theme, or is more money, like more capital, need to be allocated to the things that are working versus the things that are not working. This could be a really, really good teaching segment for you guys. I just stumbled upon it right now as we're shooting the shit. I think that we have the tendency, I know that I do. I had the tendency to throw more money at losers than at winners. And going into 2026, I wanted to make that paradigm shift. Instead of like trying to manufacture the win on a losing position, is why not just accept a loss at times and go throw money at a position that's already working, and that might be easier to manufacture a bigger win. In other words, like, why are we adding money to losers instead of winners? I'd like to hear what the chat has to say, because this end phase position, the reason I wanted to point at that one, I love the PayPal trade. I really do. But this end phase trade is probably the best trade that I have on. Like this backstop trade at 25 and then running the short call campaign at 40. I just feel like that is a winning proposition. This SoFi backstop trade at 22 and then running the shorter dated strangles, I feel like that's a winning proposition. This NVIDIA trade, the 160, 230, winning proposition. Oh, I know what's down on. There's not showing capital requirements right now. So this website's only functioning at like 80% right now. There's issues going on with the desktop. Tasty Trade's got some issues right now. So I look at these positions and I'm like this Palantir position, it's just been working. It worked all last year, and it's so far it's working pretty good this year. MSTR was working earlier. Now it's not working so much, right? Because MSTR is not, cooperating. Bitcoin's not cooperating. This Apple position looks bad on paper, but in actuality, it's still pretty far out of the money. That is another move that I made, by the way, earlier, is I rolled from 340 to 320 to bring in more premiums to get just a little bit more delta neutral, because these 340s weren't doing anything. It was like a 5 delta or 6 delta, and I made it an 11 delta just to try to get a little bit more delta neutral. I don't think that I'll go below 320. If anything, I'll add more contracts to try to create more delta neutrality that way. But it's down the road, right? But it's 185,000 of extrinsic value on the puts versus only 50,000 on the calls. And ever since I put this trade on, Apple has just kept going down and down and down, and that's why it shows the $84,000 loss on there. But I'm not really freaked out about it or anything. It's down the road 7-8 months, so we're just kind of playing it out. And then Google's pretty flat because it's pretty delta neutral, right? 8 delta versus 11 delta. But that's the thing, because I was doing some math. Like when I stare at these portfolios, Sammy, I'm always like, the thing that stands out is the position you're losing the most money on. It just is, right? So
Hurts the most.
Yeah. So the BM&R position sucks, right? Because we got 100,000 shares at 27 or at 44. It's currently trading for 27.53. So that's a problem. And we have BM&U, 150,000 shares. We bought them at 561. They're currently going now for 454. So that's a problem, right? But it's so much easier. It's so much easier for me to buy 100,000 shares of BM&U right now and lower that average to like $5. And I'll feel good about it. I legit would feel good about it. There's enough money to do it. I would legit feel good about it. But let's take that end phase position as an example. It's already up 27%, $115,000, has caused zero stress. I'm already ringing the cash register about $20,000 every 25 days on the short calls. And it hasn't occurred to me one time to add to that position.
That is definitely
I'm just saying, there's something we're talking about. That's an observation. Let's talk about that, chat. Let's talk about it. Why is it easier to add to a losing position that isn't working, but we want to make it work? I want to manufacture the win. Shit, that's the title of the book. Manufacturing the win versus, wouldn't it be easier to just have 5,000 backstop trades on end phase at $25 and then run like 2,500 of the short calls at 40 every 25 days? And I'm just ringing the cash register over and over and over and over again, and people are using these catchphrases, right? With the ego, the hopium, the sunken cost fallacy, and all that stuff. So anyway, what do you have you haven't experienced this yet, have you? Because you've only had a couple of positions in the stock market.
Yeah, I've only had Neo. Neo was the only position for a really long time. You remember I used to have Nvidia for a long time?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I had Nvidia for a long time and then couldn't really afford it in my wheelhouse. So had to get rid of it.
So Rensig is saying it's probably just a trader mindset of averaging down on a business you really believe in. I
That is
think
prob-
there's something to that. But what I'm saying is the mindset that I'm trying to tweak a little bit, because I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to, dude, my biggest wins, Riot. And I say TSOL because Tesla was a big loss initially. SoFi. There was a time, y'all remember, there was a time I was down about $1.5 million on SoFi. Now we've made well over $5 million on SoFi. So my biggest winners were all biggest losers. You know, like that's just the way that it has worked for me because I was willing to average down.
And I really think it's more of your conviction, like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, if you're willing to buy it at that certain price and it goes down,
Yeah.
you're willing to buy more.
Yeah.
That's
It's
just
exciting. It's exciting. It hasn't always worked though. I did that on a company called IDEX. It was at like $2 and $3, and I was just making money with it, dude. Then it went sub $1, and I kept loading and loading and loading the boat, and eventually, I don't even think you can find it. I don't even think it's listed anymore. Like it just completely went out of business. And to this day, I have not spent more time studying a company than I did IDEX, and I just flat out got it wrong. So I don't know if y'all have heard me say that management is the most important M of the way that I study companies. IDEX taught that to me because everything that the CEO said they were going to do, they just weren't able to deliver in a timely fashion. So I was like, management, like, I think, dude, I thought IDEX was, they were like how like SoFi is a one-stop shop for all your financial needs? IDEX was like becoming a one-stop shop for EV. Like they had electric motorcycles, they had wireless charging where you drive over this pad and it charges your car. They had like these dump trucks in New York and it was all electrical and it was just awesome, dude. Like the whole concept felt awesome. But then you just couldn't make it work. Then they're undercapitalized. They just didn't have enough money. Constant dilution, and eventually, just the company they pawned it off for parts. I at some point I just cut it was my first 6-figure loss in the stock market, and it was rough because I was like on every conference call. I was on every vlog I could find on the Reddits, on Facebook. I mean, I was in the weeds in this thing. You know what I mean? I was in the weeds. And my learning lesson for that was management's really, really critical. And I see it with the Bitcoin miners right now. Because Riot's my favorite Bitcoin miner. But their management team has been ridiculed a lot over the last couple of years because they're slow to get things done in general. Like they don't have a lot of speed. And then you have a company like Iron that has a freaking stellar management team and they just get things done. They go get a freaking multi-billion-dollar deal with Microsoft. Granted, they got to go buy billions of dollars worth of GPUs to get the deal done, but so there's a lot of execution risk there, but management got Microsoft to sign on the fucking bottom line, right? Like they signed on the dotted line for a multi-billion-dollar deal with Iron. And they didn't like drag it on forever, bro. They got the deal inked and signed. It was like Jerry Maguire. Did you sign the client? You know what I'm saying? Did you get him to sign or did you do the whole my word is strong as oak thing, right? So that's what I learned with IDEX is that management plays a very, very critical role in this thing. Because you can have the best products, you can have the best service, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you need to have leadership that can get deals done, that can take the product to market, that can take the service to market, that's believable, right? That gets shit done. They don't have to sound good. We got a president that, in my opinion, doesn't sound that professional whenever he speaks in front of other leaders, right? They're kind of looking at him like he's a little bit of a zoo animal. But if you just like get out of your political Trump derangement syndrome feelings, and you look at you look at the things that the administration is getting done, whether you agree with the tactics or not, because I don't think anybody thinks he should be snagging people out of the houses. But I mean, if they are here illegally, they're rapists, murders. I get that aspect, but just like feeling like you're threatening a bunch of people on the streets, there's not a lot of people that are going to get down with that kind of stuff, right? Like Gestapo tactics, it could be like, I think that shit could be avoided. Dude, they are getting a lot of things done. They're getting a lot of things done. So he's like, he's really good at executing. He's very uncouth. So I look at management like, well, with that as a company, it's like, don't want a manager, don't want a CEO that's well-spoken, that everybody likes him or her, or do I want somebody that's well-spoken, that's well-liked? Uh-oh, they dropped the dogs off. The circus is in town. But they get shit done. And for me, like, I'm just real big on, is management getting shit done? Like, are they getting shit done? Like, I'm going to give y'all an example in the stock market that y'all are very, very familiar with. And he's not the best person at earnings calls. And his name is Elon Musk. I dread every time Tesla has an earnings call and then he has to start talking, because he's not very like coherent with his speech. He's just not. He's a very quirky individual. He's eccentric. He's not on the spectrum, right? He's on like 3 spectrums above everybody else. He's a fucking alien. He's a weirdo. He's a fucking weirdo, right? And he knows it. Like, he knows it. He's a weirdo. But it's hard to argue. Timelines aside, get out of your freaking feelings. Elon Musk is gone. Get out of all that. There's no money over there. We ain't gonna talk about that over here. But it's hard to argue that Tesla isn't trying to get shit done. Like, they're pushing the ball forward. They're like, these cars are so much better today than they were, 5 years ago. And that's exciting. So I imagine, how much better is Tesla going to be at everything 5 years from today? So management knows how to put the right people in place and the right systems in place to execute. So I would say that Tesla probably has some of the best management around. NVIDIA, how could you not say NVIDIA doesn't have some of the best management around? All they do is get shit done. And when Jensen speaks, we listen. Whenever the CEO of IDEX, dude, he just didn't make an impression. I don't even remember his name anymore. Like, I don't even remember the dude's name. I don't even remember his name. And it's just, you want your commander in chief for these particular businesses, right? Because that's kind of like what the CEOs are. Is you want them to command attention. But ultimately not just talking a big game, but they got to deliver a big game. And yeah, man, management's a big thing. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Why is it just easier to average down than it is to go bigger on a position that's already working? Because theoretically, wouldn't that just be an easier way to make money? I mean, y'all look at that. Y'all like, let's look at these trades. Let's look at some of these trades. Like, just being objectively about it. Just being objective about it. We're definitely losing some of the gains, by the way. Or is it just crypto that's not performing? I feel like it's just crypto that's not performing. The rest of this shit's pretty flat. Yeah, but look at these plays. It's just crypto. So doesn't it make sense to have like 2,500 contracts over here? Like that's working. You know what I mean? Like that's working, and it's pretty. Well, I can't show you all the capital requirements because the desktop's not showing that today, but it's very capital efficient trade is what I'm saying. The extrinsic rate of return percentage, like none of that shit's working. So they're missing some metrics. This PayPal trade, I mean, I've gone as heavy as I can go because we wouldn't be able to afford more shares if down the road we had to take ownership. But BMU's not working. It's just not working. The SoFi trade's working. It worked. I mean, it was the biggest winner of the portfolio last year, and it's still working this year. And now it's like getting to the point where I'm at 69% on these naked calls. It's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is it worth leaving that risk on the table for just $13,000 more? And the only reason that it's still on the table is because I'll just keep rolling these over and over and over again because I have the backstop trade that eventually I want to match the call to. So that's just the reason that I love the setup of this trade, and it's turning into my favorite trade, is because it allows me to stay in longer and I don't have to fear the tail risk as much. But why aren't I just going heavier on the stuff that's working versus going heavier on the stuff that's not working? That's my Dr. Phil moment. I don't know. I don't have that answer. I don't know if it's a combination of all of these things. So Rinsing is saying, since hopefully the business you're buying shares in a super solid fundamental business with good management that you see in the red, the opportunity cost mentally is easier to say, well, I'd rather average down, get my costs lower, and make money once it finally bounces back.
Then you would have to say, are you going to cold turkey the trade that's down?
What do you mean?
Like, just not add any more to it. So if it goes down lower, you're not going to, you wanted it at a particular price. And if it goes down even lower, you're not going to even buy it lower because it's already losing.
I'm going somewhere with this conversation because earlier I asked you how much screen time, and you said it was an unhealthy amount, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I feel like sometimes I spend an unhealthy amount of time looking at the screen too, knowing damn well that I don't have a trade to make. How do I know? Because it's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. and I'm like a freaking zombie looking at the screen because some of my biggest trades have jumped off the page, if that makes sense. Like I stare at this screen and I get into like a freaking TJ the Wheel Deal trans, like a trans, not like trans. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta use a different word. I get it. I zone out. And all of a sudden, these trades they present themselves to me.
Yeah.
They present themselves to me. Like, dude, I'm just like literally like looking at it, and then I'm always opening it one at a time. I do that, and my wife sees me do it for like 30 minutes at a time. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'll say things like, "I'm just checking to see what jumps off the page." And she literally will just do like a 180 degree and leave the room and probably says to herself, my husband's in one of his crazy zones right now. So like, I'm just going to leave him alone. Like she doesn't even bother with me anymore, bro. Cause we've been together for 4 years now. So she sees when I get in my zone, leave me alone. And I stare at these things. And then eventually it's like, oh shit. I look at the extrinsic value here on Palantir, because I remember when this trade jumped out at me. And I'm like, baby, I figured out how we're going to make $1 million this year on Palantir. What I told her last year, and we fell short. We made like 750. This year, I do think that we're going to go after $1 million because there's already $500,000 here, and that's only 58 days out. That puts us at March 20th, and I don't see any reason why we can't capture all of that premium. I am getting really, really close to lowering the strike from 240 to like 230 or 220, so I can lock in that part of the win and get a little bit more delta neutral. We'll see, we'll see. So anyway, that's what I do. But I mean, that's just something that I'm trying to learn about myself. Why is it so, dude? Like I could legit, like right now, I could legit buy 100,000 shares of BMNU and feel fucking great about it. I feel ecstatic. I feel like the stock market gods finally did me a solid and gave me an opportunity to make $1 million because like easier $1 million because I'm like, dude, I'll own these shares at $5 and it'd be 250,000 shares and it just has to go to $9 and I make $1 million. Like this is how my twisted little brain works, right? And I can't see, it's a leverage play. It could go to zero because I'm like so convinced that Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to bounce. So that's going to obviously bring all of the crypto proxy plays up. That's the thesis in a nutshell. But I look at like this NVIDIA play. I look at this Palantir play. I look at this Enphase play. I look at the SoFi play and this PayPal play. Even Apple and Google for that matter. And those are all easier plays objectively if you look at them. I mean, don't y'all think that that's an easier play than BMNR and BMNU right now? I mean, just from a winning percentage, like from the winning percentages in your mind of that play working. Do you think that Enphase the $25 put, Sammy, like the little that you might know about Enphase or the chat? Let's just take them one by one in the chat. Do you think that that's going to end up being a winning trade? It's obviously already up 27%, right? But do you see a world where there's a real good chance that Enphase is going to be above $25 in 330 days?
Yeah, I do see a good chance.
So that's another 309 grand. So the question is, if the maximum amount of contracts I can sell is 5,000. So 500,000 shares times $25 is 12,000. Is 12,500,000. If I look at the cash, we could theoretically afford that if I was willing to go all in on Enphase at $25. When I do a backstop trade, I always look at how much money is really available to us. And I don't exceed that amount of notional value on a position. So I'm like, would I be willing to go all in on Enphase at $25? The answer is yes. I'd prefer it at 20. So if I sell the puts at 25, and then if I got to babysit them because Enphase just keeps shitting the bed, and I rolled it to 20, I'm feeling pretty damn good about it because I would own 500,000 shares of Enphase at $20. So $10 million. And I'm like, dude, I could manufacture the win there. And the premiums on Enphase are pretty good because the IV rank over here is at 44.9. It's pretty crazy. So that's the stuff that bothers me a little bit, is that I want to graduate this year. Like I'm showing you all the things that I'm working on because I'm always trying to get better at this game. I want to be quicker to add to winners than to losers. Like I want the trades that are working to pop off the screen to me, to jump off the screen to me and be like, this is the fastest place that you can make $100,000 right now. versus the hardest place that could make $100,000 right now is probably adding to that BM&R play or the BMNU play, because I didn't finish my thought because I got sidetracked, because this is what I've been hoping for behind the scenes. I've been hoping for BM&R to get to $20. I've been hoping for BM&R to get to 18 to $20 because I wanted to buy 100,000 more shares at $20, because then that's going to put me at like $36 average cost. And then I'm in the driver's seat now from the standpoint of I could sell a crazy amount of covered calls 30 days out at 36 if I just want to get back to even, if you will. And we do 2,000 contracts. Well, it's not going to let me do it, I don't think. Yeah, it won't let me do it right now because I don't own that many shares. But that brings in $130,000 a month. No-brainer shit. And if for whatever reasons they got called away, I'm whole. I didn't lose any money on BM&R aside from the leaps that I got absolutely destroyed on, right? I would have lost about $900,000 on the leap, so that part sucks. So that's the stuff that I've been hoping for. I'm like, dude, this thing's gonna tank. Like, let there be like a crazy capitulation event, and let's do that. And then I'll be at 250,000 shares of BM&U, ride those up $3 or $4, make $1 million over there. That's gonna offset the money that I was down on the leaps. And then now I'm gonna regroup. I'm gonna be done with BM&U, done with BM&R. Maybe only rock with like 50,000 shares at that point. You're gonna melt them down, okay? And then I'm gonna go heavier on Enphase. I'm already going as heavy as I possibly can on PayPal. I'm gonna maybe go even heavier on SoFi. Maybe get this thing up to 5,000 contracts, because that's the max that Tasty will allow me to sell right now, unless I have a conversation with them. I like the sizing on NVIDIA, but if it feels good, maybe even double the sizing on NVIDIA. Riot, I'll get that up to 500 contracts because that one's working. I think that I'm pretty maxed out on Palantir. The only thing that I would consider doing is maybe adding 800 more contracts on the backstop trades. I'm pretty okay with what's going on with strategy, because I'll just keep rolling this until I get it down to like 150. And then at that point, provided that Bitcoin is bouncing, I'm like, dude, if I can't manufacture the win at 150 on strategy, then we were just all wrong on Bitcoin at that point. You know what I mean? And then I'll keep Apple and Google, maybe get them up to like 250 contracts, no more than 300 contracts. And I'll just keep that trade on for the next 3 to 5 years. And this portfolio would print a fuckload of money. But think about how twisted that mindset is. I want to experience a lot of pain to get the deal that I want on BM&R at like $18, because that means that the portfolio is going to take like a $2 million haircut to get to that point. So it's like, it's like I feel like sometimes I need to go talk to like a psychologist. Like, why am I willing to go through so much pain because I see so much pleasure on the other side, versus I could just focus all the energy on the end phases and the Palantir and the NVIDIA, the trades that are working, and they're so wide and they're like, I mean, I don't like to use the terminology easy, but they're kind of easy. Like, it's kind of easy for me to make money with Enphase right now at these levels. It's this Palantir strangle, bro, the 140, 240. I'll eventually turn it into 220. Like, that part of the trade, the 140 could potentially cause stress, but the 240 ain't not going to cause no stress. Like, I mean, like, I can't even believe that those get filled. Like, I can't even explain it to y'all whenever I've sold those naked calls on Palantir, and they get filled instantly, by the way, instantly at good prices, like mid. it baffles me, Sammy, that they get filled so quickly. I'm like, who's buying these calls 58 days, 60 days out on Palantir at 240 and paying me like $3 for it?
It's the guy that's willing to play the dice.
I'm just saying, dude, it's crazy to me. Yeah, Netflix looking juicy right now. Man, I've been following Netflix for years, dude, and I just was never able to.
Yeah, they had earnings yesterday.
Never able to. I think I've done like one trade on it on Netflix and made like a few $1,000s a couple years ago. And it just recently had a split, right? Like that's why it's trading at like this $80 range or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know why I just never made money with it. Because I mean, I watch Netflix. A lot of people watch Netflix. So one of those things. Anyway, man, I gotta run. I appreciate you guys. Fun session today. I know our boy Amit wasn't on, so I thought that we all had to try to do our part to give the junkies what they need, right? Some sort of a fix. But comment after this gets posted. Why is it easier to add to losers than it is to winners? Because Sergio on his channel, because I watch his channel, a couple hours a week, he likes to add to winners. And he really tries not to average down on losers. But the thing that's hard for me is the biggest winners I've ever had were first the biggest losers. So I think it's that track record that makes it hard for me not to average down when the conviction is so high. And it's that Warren Buffett interview. Like, you shouldn't buy a stock if you're not willing to own it if it drops 50%. And it's like, well, what does it tell you when the stock goes down? Well, it tells you I'm going to be able to buy more for my money, right? Like, these are all the things that Warren Buffett said. So Warren Buffett's a big fan and an advocate and a proponent of averaging down. And he is the Oracle of Omaha, right? So arguably the world's greatest investor of all time. At least in the top 3, for sure. Like, I don't think that part's argumentative. You can argue about who the best is, but top 3, I don't think that's an argument. And he's like, he wants the stocks to go down. So did I take that interview too literally? Like, is that what happened? Because I'm just saying, because I feel like there's a defect in my brain. Like, and my wife gets angry at me, dude. This is like true story stuff right here. My wife gets mad at me because I say things out loud and she believes in the power of the spoken word. But I'm like, baby, I feel like the stock market would be doing us a huge fucking favor if BM&R were to tank to $15. I said it to her and her brother-in-law yesterday. And her brother got it. My wife was angry. Because right away, he just starts doing the math. He's like, holy shit, it'd make it a lot easier to make money if we really believe this thing's going to 100. And it goes to 15 first, you get another 100,000 shares. You know what I'm saying? Like, every dollar it goes up is 200 grand. Holy shit. You start ringing the cash register real quickly in your mind. And it brings the average down to 36, 37. So now we start making money at 37 versus not until it gets to 44. And you're only making half the money because you only have 100,000 shares versus 200,000 shares. That's the greed and the angel and the devil on your shoulders, right? That's the stuff that I deal with. And I'm giving y'all some deep shit right now because I'm honest. I feel like y'all all deal with the same shit. I have the channel and I talk about it. So that's the thing. If you don't average down, then look up and the plays is up and you're thinking, man, if I would have just added, I'd be up huge. I think that there's a lot of, I think it's just the math. I'm so in love with the math whenever the conviction is so high. Because, dude, I don't think Tom Lee's wrong about like Ethereum. I think he's certainly wrong on his time frame. But I'm okay with that. I don't need this. I don't need to be right now. I don't need to be right now. I'm good. The bills are paid. We're okay. But if there would be an opportunity to scoop up another 100,000 shares at 15, I want to sign up for that. Like, I want to sign up for that. Like, I guess this is the thing that I struggle with, because I've talked to people at higher levels than Sergio that lecture me on my persistence and like my passion to like average down, because it a little craziness too, right? Like, there's a lot going on there with my mindset. But I'm like, I feel like my gift is my temperament and my ability to see a stock with a fresh set of eyes. See, when I look at BM&R, I ain't focused on the 100,000 shares that I bought prematurely at $44 average. If I was looking at BM&R for the very first time today, everything that we know about the blockchain, Ethereum, and how robust it's getting, etc., I would be fucking ecstatic to start building a brand new position on BM&R present day. I'd probably be selling puts like crazy in that $24, $25 range. But because I already have a position that's getting annihilated, it makes it hard to do that or to justify doing that, because I have other positions that are working, if you will. So that's the part that I struggle with. But if it goes to that no-brainer category for me, which is that $18 to $20 range, I'm going to buy 100,000 more shares, because that's 25%, and then that's 25%. And then if it were to go to like $10 to $12, everybody would think that I'm gone crazy, myself included, probably. But at that point, I would fucking buy 20,000 shares or 200,000 shares. And then we look up and we're like, holy shit, we got almost 500,000 shares of BM&R, and we're fucking effectively all in. But it's also printing at that point probably $400,000 or $500,000 a month in cover call premiums. So I think Mr. Premium's onto something. Most people average down because it makes it easier to exit stage left sooner with the win. Yeah. So I call it averaging down to average out. Because I was like, okay, we buy 100,000 shares at 20. We split the difference. It's 14. So, or it's 20 is 22. So if I bought them at 44, I buy them at 20. That's 22. So that puts our average at 31. So you buy 100,000 shares at 20. You have 100,000 shares at 44. That puts your average at 31, right? And then now the stock bounces back up to 31. You can sell the 100,000 shares that you bought. And now you still have 100,000 shares, but you only have an average cost of 31 versus 44. That's the mathematical appeal. Because I want to rock with 100,000 shares. That's why I bought them. But if there's an opportunity to lower my average, right? Like I have to be willing to endure that pain. And I think that's the thing. And that's the issue, is the thesis and the conviction have to stay higher. But I think that's what's hard about the game, is as the price goes down, no matter who you are, the conviction, it gets tested. Because the relationship is strained, right? So y'all are putting some good stuff here, man. I appreciate it. Averaging down is about fundamental risk reward improving. Averaging up is more about technical strength and expecting it to continue. Interesting stuff, man. Anyway, I gotta go. I hope y'all got value here, because this is like a psychological deep dive into the twisted mind of TJ the Wheel Deal. What did you get out of it, Sammy? I mean, I'm not just trying to ramble here like a madman. I'm trying to really give you guys some insight into how I think at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Definitely I always like to see how other traders get their ideas. It's one of the things that I like to see and talk to other people that trade and understand how they made their process and how they made their, the reason why they did the things they do.
Yeah.
And for me, it's particularly, I get my best ideas when I'm not on the charts
Right.
or not on the particular thing. If I'm driving or I'm running or exercising, I'm like, this is where I'm going to put it. This is where I'm going to put my puts. This is where I'm going to put my calls. The time to buy the stock is now. And then that's when I get my ideas, and that's what I got most out of the call today. The video today was deep and dive and seeing how you think and how you make decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tasty Trade's out of whack today. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and let them regroup. Like our buying power is showing like 0% across the board now and stuff.
By the way, TJ, I also do know how to fix the streaming thing.
Okay, talk to me.
So you go to Google Chrome.
Okay.
You're gonna hit.
Hold on. Well, I feel like I'm on Google Chrome. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me go. Okay, so this is Google Chrome.
All right, I want you to hit those 3 dots in the right-hand corner.
This guy?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then go all the way down to setting.
This guy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then you're gonna go to system with the wrench.
Where's
on
that?
The bottom? It's like the 4th one to the bottom.
Right here. Okay.
And then unclick the use graphics accelerator when available.
Okay.
And then relaunch it. And then hit leave. Oh, it might end the stream too.
Yeah.
But once you do it, and once you upload, once you hit new Google Chrome, you'll be able to share your screen.
So there's an issue because I haven't finished updating something probably.
Yeah, you have to close StreamYard
right
for Google Chrome to completely close.
Got it. Okay, sounds good, dude. Well, I'll do that. So TJ the Wheel Deal signing off. As always, may your sky stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you. So I just hit leave and then it should do it.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Y'all have a good one, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.